I want to welcome you all back to help Mac celebrate its 50th anniversary, our birthday party, 1970 to 2020. We're back in the Carroll Gallery at the Emlen Physick Estate, looking at the exhibit that will hopefully soon be open for all of you to come and enjoy. I still have to give credit to Janet Coupland and G. Barracall for putting this exhibit together, and they both are thrilled with it, I'm thrilled with it, and we really can't wait to share it. I've talked a little bit about the foundings of MAC in some of the earlier talks. I really want to get into now about some of the things that really do make MAC and what we do and how we do it. And I want to talk about volunteerism. Although we now have quite a few staff members, MAC still operates with about 300 volunteers working in all aspects of things that we do, inside, outside, office work, anything we need help with. We tap people's talents around the community. But we started out very early on with work that really didn't work out too well for volunteers. And as you see this work going on the outside of the carriage house, you can see this would really not be something we would be calling in volunteers. But right next to that, I want you to take a look at one of our gentlemen hard at work. That's Dave Clemens, of Chris and Dave Clemens. Chris is still one of our board members. Dave has been a board member. And Dave is certainly a Renaissance man. I've never known somebody who knows so much about architecture, art, cooking, anything that you could really imagine. Dave's a pro at. He has tried to give me some cooking lessons, but he says I've still failed all of that. But Dave is working on some of our fireplaces there, taking care of all kinds of things that really needed doing. Now right next to him is another Dave. This is Dave Gemmell, a retired Coast Guard officer that took over the wallpapering project. Now these papers that you see throughout the house are very complicated papers. They all were made by Bradbury Papers in California, and each paper had to be individually trimmed to make them ready to put on the walls and the ceilings. I have some other pictures that I pulled out of my collection that I want to share with you all. And the first one is of Ray Schultz, who was our second president of MAC. Ray and Barbara were part of that artistic group from the Cape May County Art League that became very active in the Mid-Atlantic Center. Barbara Schultz was kind of a really fun writer too. And when we were running the campaign to get Bruce Minix elected, she came up with this name of Blinky Stiflehorn, who was writing letters to the editor about what he thought was going on in Cape May. And I tell you, they were really hilarious. People look forward to getting that paper every week about what Blinky opinion was of things going on. But this picture shows Ray, who came up with a method to recreate the Lincrusta wallpaper that you now see throughout the hallways of the house, on the ceilings and the walls. The next picture shows him and his helper using one of the old samples to come up with a new way of putting this together before we went into installation in the house. The next picture that you see is actually Dave Gemmell again, a little bit better front view. Dave had been the commanding officer of Coast Guard Air Station Cape May. The helicopters that you see flying around Cape May now come from the Atlantic City Airport. But at one time we had the Coast Guard Air Station right here in Cape May on the base, and he retired from that and became another one of our really great volunteers. I have another picture in here too that shows the gardening operations going on the state. And you will notice it's not the oval garden in the front yard that we have now. It was sort of a creation of what we thought the original grounds might have looked like. But in the early 90s, we did an extensive research and using infrared looks into the ground to determine exactly what our grounds had looked like during the residency of the Physick family. So those stones and that garden and fountain were gone. And here's some of our early volunteers though, working away in the garden. And I had to throw in as a last picture in that one of the grounds crew that I got started about 12 years ago, the first bit of us, and we're still going strong today. And once a week, we have about 10 to 15 people who really love outdoor work. And we get together, we go to work for a couple hours, all stop at near the end of the day to look back, and everything looks so nice, and we're really, really proud of what we accomplished. So I appreciate you all being with me again today, and tune in again next week when I'm going to go into another chapter of Cape May and Mac's wonderful history. Thank you.